40 years ago today, the world watched the Challenger disaster unfold live on TV. Aaron Stuvey checks in with local historians to see what artifacts we have from that event and looks at the technology that's used to preserve historical events.
Wednesday marks 40 years since the Challenger disaster shocked the nation. It's remembered as one of the first widely seen disasters, as televisions in schools and offices around the country watched it unfold live. The Blue Earth County Historical Society has scans of local reporting from before, during, and after the disaster on microfilm. The technology keeps a high-quality scan of items that last far longer than papers and boxes, and the organization says that it's an invaluable tool for keeping a record of both historical events and the history of the community.
The Challenger is a very big national event that affected everyone nationwide, whereas we could find something on a random Tuesday in the newspaper that had such local significance that we just love to share that as well.
The Historical Society has microfilm of local publications spanning over a century, covering everything from the Challenger disaster and the JFK assassination to advertisements for local businesses, giving an eye into the day-to-day happenings of an area of time, and that preservation still happens today with new historical events. It's a marquee service for the organization, as the Historical Society reports people diving into the old rolls of film each and every week.
Not only the storage space, but this also isn't going to deteriorate quite as much. So we're able to preserve the newspaper a lot longer than the physical copy of it.
Aaron Stuvey, KUIC News Now.